It's the new year, everybody, and so we are all about setting SMART goals. That's what today's lesson is all about. It's a part of our unit on goal setting behavior. So what are SMART goals? I imagine that people don't want to set silly goals or anything like that, right? Well, SMART is actually an acronym, and so each letter of the word SMART stands for a word, right? That's an acronym. So it's an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable and attainable, realistic and relevant, and timely. So if you were writing a SMART goal, it meets all of those parameters. It's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Goals or objectives or benchmarks that we set for ourselves to achieve. And so during New Year's, many people create goals for themselves that they would like to achieve throughout the year. And so they want to improve some aspect of their life, okay? Whether it's eating healthier, working out more, getting better grades, being a kinder friend, things like that. So we want to improve ourselves, right? And starting the new year fresh gives us that nice little blank slate, right? To maybe like engage in those behaviors if we haven't already been doing them. So oftentimes these goals are very broad. New Year's goals, I mean, they're very broad, they're really ambitious, and they're very time consuming. And when goals are written like that, it's just really difficult to achieve at any point, whether you achieve it in a month, a year, 10 years. I mean, that's, you want to make sure that your goals are smart, okay, that you can achieve them. And so our goal is to help you create better goals for yourself. All right, so a SMART goal, specific. These are do's and don'ts. So if you're writing a specific goal, you want to use real numbers with real deadlines, okay? So saying something that's very vague and ambiguous, like I want more visitors to my webpage. I want more money in my bank account. Well, what does that mean? Okay, what do you mean by more? And part of being specific, you want to make sure your goal is also measurable, okay? So you can track data to see if you are making progress towards meeting it. Attainable means, do you have the resources to even meet it? Realistic, be honest. Can you achieve this within whatever time span you give yourself? And time bound, give yourself a deadline. That way, you can hold yourself accountable. All right, so let's break down that acronym. So specific. When setting a goal that you would like to achieve, be specific. What exactly would you like to do? You can begin broad, and then you can make your goal more specific as you think more about it. So when you are writing a goal, just off the bat, what area of your life would you like to improve? What activity or skill would you like to gain? So an example of a non-specific goal, and this is the one that we don't want, is I want to get good grades. Okay, that's too vague. That's too broad and wishy-washy. You want to be specific. Okay, so in what class do you want to get a good grade? What do you mean by a good grade? So an example of a good specific goal, which we want to aim for, is I want to improve my grade in math class. Okay, we're refining the parameters of what it means to get good grades. We're saying, you know what, I really want to focus on math. That's going to be my specific area of improvement. Okay, I want to raise and improve my grade in math class. All right, so how am I going to make this measurable? Well, if it's measurable, it means that you can measure your progress, and then you'll know when you've achieved it. So you can take a look at data to see where you're currently at and where you need to be to reach your goal. Okay, so measurable, just ask yourself, how am I going to measure progress? How will I know? So if we're taking that example of getting a good grade or improving our good grade in math class, we can say, you know what, improving my grade's too vague. I'm going to make it measurable, okay? So not only do I want to improve my grade, I want to get a 90% or higher in my math class. That's measurable. I can look at my grade and say, all right, I'm at a 75. I need to really up the ante if I'm going to meet 90%, okay? That's at least a 15% increase that we need to account for, whether it's through our quizzes, our assignments, etc. All right. Achievable and attainable. So a goal can be specific and measurable, but that does not automatically make it achievable. When a goal is achievable, we are able to reach it and make it a reality without taking extraordinary measures. So when you're formulating a goal, ask yourself, do you have the skills and resources for it? Okay, or does that require an additional goal, additional practice to reach? Also ask yourself why you want to reach a goal. Okay, so we're rolling with that example. I want to get a 90% or higher on my math quizzes. It might be a little unrealistic to expect to get a 90% in your math class if you're currently at like a 75%, okay? Because that means you're going to have to put in a lot of work and effort. And if we don't put in the work and effort for it, or if we do and we fall short, it can really discourage us and just make us, not want to keep trying. So we can, say, you know what? Okay, I realize I can't raise my grade overnight, but you know what? I can get a 90% or higher on my math quizzes. That's the specific area that is achievable and attainable for me. All right, realistic and relevant. When asking yourself why you would like to meet a certain goal, also ask yourself, in what way will this benefit my life? A goal that is relevant and meaningful will improve multiple areas of your life. So when goals are relevant, they are more likely to be realistic. Realistic just means, are you really, be honest with yourself? Are you going to put in the work for it? Are you going to put in the work to get 90% on your quizzes? Are you going to study beforehand and, talk to your teacher and see how you can improve? So meeting a realistic and relevant goal makes it much easier, and it can really motivate us to continue to improve, make improvements on ourselves. So please note, what is relevant to each person is subjective. So we each have different priorities, we each have different responsibilities. So why a goal is important to someone, that's less of a concern for us to judge. It's important to that person, and we respect that, and we try and help them as much as we can, or provide guidance and facilitate their progress towards meeting that goal. Lastly, a goal should be timely. It should have a relatively clear end date by which you will meet it. So when a goal goes on longer than it needs to, or when you don't set an end date for yourself, you're really less likely to achieve it. Okay, untimely goals can deter progress and weaken our motivation, and that is not what we want. Okay, we're full steam ahead. We want to set a goal for, set a time date for our goal. That way we know, okay, I need to make such and such progress by such and such time. And it'll really help you plan out how to meet your goal. Okay. So, so this is my fully refined good grades goal. So this is an example of a good timely goal. By the end of first semester, I will get a 90% or higher on my math quizzes. Okay. So end of first semester, that typically gives you, anywhere from like 3 months to 3 to 6 months, right? To get a 90% or higher on your quizzes in totality. And so, so this is just an introduction on how to write SMART goals. We'll go over some more SMART goals and how to go about the process of refining goals using our SMART acronym in class.